Welcome to the Pop Culture Spectrum. I am your host, Dan Experience, and this is our Christmas Extravaganza episode, and I am joined by my sister, Melissa. Welcome to the show.
Hi again.
Yeah, Melissa was on during our Summer of Snick before my anxiety monster took over, and I had to take a few months off, which cut us short, but she is back. And today we're going to be talking about Christmas memories.
Because it's Christmas Eve Eve.
Yes, we are recording this on Christmas Eve Eve, which historically for us is the day that we have exchanged gifts with each other.
Yes, it was a sibling thing. It was really just my way of getting us to open presents for more days.
Yeah.
And it worked.
and being able to do it early.
Yep.
And it was me, you, and also our other sister, Angel, who is not with us. That makes it sound like she's dead. She's
in Tennessee.
Not here.
She's backwards in Tennessee.
Okay, so do you want to do gift exchange first, or do you want to do some talking about memories?
Let's do gift exchange first.
Okay, so a little quick backstory here. So I had a hell of a year. A cunt was I always have to drop one cunt in a podcast.
Cunty.
A cunt made me start over my life, and so I'm I don't have a whole hell of a lot of extra money, so I was not. I kind of put the word out that I wasn't going to be doing Christmas this year, but Melissa still got me a gift, so I scrambled to find something around my apartment,
which wasn't necessary.
But the good thing is, I actually was able to find something in my apartment that I think you'll really like.
Okay, yay!
I did not have wrapping paper. So I wrapped it in aluminum foil, and
I can smoke my meth in this later. I'm kidding. I don't smoke meth.
Here's the thing about aluminum foil. There's a lot of things when it comes to groceries that I will do generic. Don't do generic aluminum foil.
Oh, no.
It's fucking garbage.
Don't do generic saran wrap either.
And generic peanut butter is garbage too.
Well, I just do the organic. I like to do the sugar-free, so it's just peanuts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But
okay, so this is my gift to you, wrapped in my cheap aluminum foil that I'm trying to burn through because it's not good for anything else.
Hear that? And then this is, now I told him, mine's a total gag gift. One of them is, let me explain then. So, should I open this before I explain mine, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, go ahead and open yours first.
All right. Pardon the... Yes, it's Return to Oz.
So I recently bought myself Return to Oz on DVD, and I'm going to get this foil out of here. So it's I recently bought myself Return to Oz on DVD because I wanted to show it to my girlfriend.
And the DVD's actually in here, so yay.
Yes. But I was talking to Melissa about it last week or so, and she had mentioned that she didn't have it, so I'll just buy myself another copy, and Merry Christmas.
Aw, thanks.
Anybody that hasn't seen Return to Oz, fucking track down Return to Oz and watch it.
Have to watch it.
It's the sequel to The Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz came out in the 30s, I think. Return to Oz, I want to say, was like 1987 or 88, so it was a long time after The Wizard of Oz, and it is one of the creepiest fucking movies in the world.
And I love, if you read the way that they try to market this, Dorothy finds herself back in the land of her dreams and makes delightful new friends. I mean, okay, yeah, and some dangerous new enemies. It does not...
It does not.
It does not do it justice.
No, because
it is.
The movie starts off the way that, first of all, it stars a young Fairuza Balk, and I think one of her first things, Fairuza Balk, who was also in The Craft.
Yes.
She was Edward Norton's psycho girlfriend in American History X.
She plays great dark roles.
Yes. But Return to Oz was, I think, her first major acting gig. And the way that she gets back to Oz is she's in a psychiatric hospital, and she's getting electroshock therapy, and that's what sends her back to Oz.
And for those, I want to spoil it, but for those who haven't seen it, just watch it. If you like crazy, creepy shit, watch it.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
So, Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you said you had explaining?
Yeah, so I went to a White Elephant party with my cohort at back at school, and there was a gift that I almost got, and as soon as I saw it, I was dying laughing. I may have been a little drunk, but whatever. But I was like, I'm giving this to Daniel. Well, someone stole it from me. And so I went and I bought it. And paid a little extra for something that the original gift didn't have in it. But yeah.
All right. And this is actual wrapping paper, not aluminum foil.
Push the belly button. No.
It is a fanny pack, first of all, which amazing, that has a belly button on it. And you push the belly button. That is fantastic.
Now there is something inside, too. This was the original gift before I saw the amazingness that is.
Awesome. A Bob Ross talking keychain. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. I was so sad when someone stole that. I mean,
that is so gross. The fanny pack. I'll post a picture of it on Instagram. It's a hairy belly button. It looks suspiciously like my belly button.
The guy who was hosting the party, he packed that with a bottle of wine. And the woman who stole it from me, the gag gift that she got was a bottle of gin, but it was water. Which is so I didn't blame her for stealing the wine, but I was like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, and his significant other was not happy that she was like, she thought it was disgusting, and I'm like, this is fantastic.
It is
what
disgusting,
are you talking
but it
about?
is awesome.
Yes.
I love that it squeaks.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. A very successful Christmas Eve
Whoops,
exchange.
for sure.
So, as I said, Melissa is my sister, so we spent many a Christmases together. I have a shitty memory that doesn't go back very far, but I do have a few specific Christmas memories.
When you said shitty memory, I realized it took me a second to realize you were saying like your memory is shit, but I thought you were saying that like you have a specific shitty memory from not too long ago. But no, I'm with you now. That's what that look was.
Okay. Yeah. So first, I want to explain our holidays. We come from a family of 80 different divorces between like
crazy people,
10 people. Like everybody's been married like 60 times. So a lot of our Christmases, we would spend the morning with our mom and stepdad, the early afternoon with our dad, and then late evening with our stepdad's family, or some weird combination of
and
this.
Then Christmas Eve was our grandma and grandpa who were divorced but lived next door to one another.
Yes.
So we go to grandma's and then we go over to grandpa's.
Yeah, so
Right
not only do we have two uncles named Frank, they're not on opposite sides, they're brothers and they're both named Frank.
Yeah.
But we also had a grandma and a grandpa that were divorced but lived literally next door to each other.
And then that was on our mom's side, and on our dad's side, our aunt lived right across the street.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was like,
so we
it's very crazy.
got a wacky family.
A little bit. Explains a lot about both of us.
So, how many memories do you have that you wanted to share?
I mean, I have 5 specific ones, but then like others that I can pull out of.
All right, why don't you start us off with one?
Well, let me start off with. So I called Mom on the way here because there was a cat that I was gifted, but I couldn't remember if I got it for Christmas or my birthday. This was when I was like 6 or 7 or 8. Yeah, because Mom and Dad were divorced. And no one can remember. My birthday's in February. Doesn't matter. But she reminded me of a memory of the TVs. Yeah. Was that one of yours?
No.
Okay, yeah. So apparently we all 3 were being gifted TVs, and they were just in the boxes that they came in. They put them in our dining room, which you had to go through the dining room to get through the house. And we passed it for I don't even know how long and had no idea that there were boxes of 3 TVs.
I completely forgot about that.
I did too until she mentioned it, and I was like, I'm glad you mentioned that because, we had absolutely no idea that that's how observant we were as children.
I was never really the look to try to discover gifts early kind of person.
I did it one time, and it ruined opening the present. I never did it again.
Yeah.
I snuck and I found whatever Angel got me. And it was something I wanted, but then when I opened it, like having to fake that surprise and then also ruining the surprise for myself to this day. Like people will be like, do you want to know? And I'm like, no, do not ruin the surprise. Yeah. Because that was just, it was so disappointing to me. So yeah, I won't.
Let me ask you this, because like I said, I have a shitty memory. I really don't remember being a child at all, but I don't remember, I'm sure at some point I did. I don't remember ever actually believing in Santa Claus. How long did you believe in Santa Claus / did you ever really believe in Santa Claus?
I mean, I'm sure that I did for a little while. The first memory I have of specifically not believing in like Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and that is when Mom was with the second husband we don't talk about that we talk about all the time, aka Tom, but it's not as fun to call him that. We were down in southern Ohio in Perry County, which is like the armpit of Ohio. This was the late 80s.
It's like if someone's armpit also had a butthole in it.
Right. It was the late 80s, like on the cusp of 90s, and they still didn't have indoor plumbing. But anyway, I remember sitting in the back seat with one of our cousins and the other, who was my age at the time. So I would have been like, 8, 9. And then they had the younger cousin, and the older cousin and I were talking about like how the Tooth Fairy's not real. And we got threatened because the younger one still believed in it. So I know that I was at least 8 or 9 when I didn't believe, but I don't know like when that stopped.
Yeah, like I'm sure that like when I was like 4 or something, I probably believed in Santa Claus, but my memories don't go back far enough to remember actually ever believing in Santa. Let me ask you this: do you have any one gift throughout all of our childhoods that stands out to you as the one that you were most excited about?
Yes.
Okay, because so do I. What was yours?
The starter jacket.
Oh, okay.
Because, And
you had a Miami Dolphins starter jacket, right?
And yours was San Francisco 49ers, right?
I thought I had a Cowboys.
Was it Cowboys? I don't remember. I know you liked San Francisco. Yeah. That's why I just assumed. Yeah. But like
starter jackets were fucking huge in the 90s.
Yes.
Do they still exist?
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. But I really I picked Miami Dolphins as my football team because of the colors. Like, I didn't know shit about football. I mean, I know a little bit more, but not much. Really wanted the starter jacket because it's like, it was the starter jacket. Yeah. That's what you got in the 90s. And
if you were walking around school with a starter jacket, people knew.
And I mean, so our mom took us aside and she was like, look, your grandma couldn't get the starter jackets. I wanted to tell you ahead of time because she was really sad that she couldn't do this for you. So don't act disappointed. I mean, she really sold it. Mm-hmm. And Mom is not good at keeping secrets at all. So like, I'm really proud of her for that. So then Christmas Eve, we go over and we open it and it was the Miami Dolphins starter jacket that I wanted. And it was like, cause they got me and that's why it stood out. It was a good surprise.
So grandma got you the starter jacket.
Yes.
That's funny because the gift that I remember was also from grandma. Christmas Eve at grandma's was awesome.
It was a to-do.
Because our grandma is awesome and always got us really fucking good gifts. Yeah. But also our uncle was there and our uncle always got us fucking I don't know about you, I'm sure he did, but he always got me whatever video game it was that I had wanted all year. I always could count on uncle to get it for me. Nice.
I don't remember specific. I mean, he always knocks it out of the park now. Like, because he usually gets me gift cards to like, so I can use it at like Red Lobster or one of those places that like, I don't eat that much, but I'm like, yes.
Yeah. But my gift that I distinctly remember, and I believe that it was me, you, and then our cousins, Lindsay and Kyle, all 4 got, they were bikes.
Yep.
That had radios in the handlebars.
I forgot about the radios. Oh, I remember the bike.
Yeah. We all got bikes, and the bikes had radios in the handlebars. And I don't know why that stands out to me so much, but that I remember being so fucking excited about that radio in the handlebars.
I remember them wheeling the bikes in. I don't remember what my bike looked like. I was trying to picture it because I do remember the bikes, but like I don't remember. What
I want to
like
say mine was like a not quite neon, but almost neon green and black kind of thing. But
nice.
Yeah, I remember being very excited about that, which is weird because, like, I mean, I rode my bike a decent, like, as much as kids in the '90s rode their bike, but like, I wasn't like a bike enthusiast,
right? I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Neither one of us are anymore. I don't know if I could even... I know my ass wouldn't fit on a bike. But
I've been on bikes a few times over the past few years, and it's a lot more difficult than I remember. And maybe that's just because I've been smoking for 18 years.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I do a recumbent bike for my bad knees, but at the ripe old age of 37. I know, it's ridiculous. We did not win the genetic lottery.
No,
is
we
really
didn't.
What it boils down to.
I think we're both doing pretty fucking admirably for the genetic hand we were dealt.
It's true.
I mean, our family tree is riddled with cancer and diabetes and mental illness.
And like grandma had something replaced every year for the last like 15 years of her life. And everybody has bad knees. So if yours haven't gone bad yet.
They haven't. Well, I'm surprised. I've got a
I'm
back,
I'm really young for how bad they are. So but yay me.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we're doing pretty damn okay.
I'd say so. We function.
So one of the gifts from Mom and Mark, our stepdad, that it distinctly stands out for me is when they got us both the CD player boom boxes. And the reason that this really stands out for me was I was excited about it because this was before that we were listening to cassette tapes.
That was from Circuit City. Before it was the 3-disc changer.
No.
Or are you talking
it was
about
the boom box.
I remember the 3-disc.
It was in
changer.
1995.
Oh, then I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not thinking of the same one.
Okay. Because the reason that I remember this is I kept telling them that I wanted the Bone Thugs and Harmony album. And they got us each the CD boom boxes, and they got us each a CD to go with it. And I was all excited because I was opening the CD after opening the boom box, thinking it was going to be Bone Thugs and Harmony. It was fucking Alan Jackson. Whatever album had Chattahoochee on it. Which you can't be more diametrically opposed to what I wanted versus what they actually got me. and there was a decent amount of country in the 90s that I liked, but I was never like super into Alan Jackson.
Yeah. I
distinctly remember them saying, "We're not getting you the fucking Bone Thugs and Harmony album. It's not appropriate." And this was in 1995, so I would have been 12. Yeah, 12. First of all, them saying, "We're not fucking getting you."
Yeah.
And second of all, this was also around the age that they were, like, showing me the movie Pulp Fiction. And, like, it was so weird where they drew the line. I ended up getting the Bone Thugs and Harmony album anyway. But the other thing that I remember was Mark specifically saying, "Do you know what Bone Thugs and Harmony means? Do you know what bone is? It's those marijuana cigarettes that they smoke."
I didn't know that. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, because I distinctly remember us listening to Bone Thugs while we played the Rayman.
Oh yeah,
and then
on my Atari Jaguar.
Yeah, and also Michael Card, which is a very very different.
Anyone that doesn't know,
there.
and you probably don't, Michael Card is a gospel singer, a Christian contemporary that our dad was super into.
I mean, the music was alright. Yeah, good music's good music.
Yeah, but yeah, bouncing back and forth between Bone Thugs and Harmony and that.
Yeah, while playing Rayman.
Yeah. It was just so funny to me.
Donkey Kong. Oh, sorry.
Donkey Kong Country?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I was I just got the Switch Donkey Kong Country game. It's awesome. But no, it to this day makes me laugh that I was expecting and hoping for East 1999 Eternal by Bone Thugs and Harmony, and I opened up A Lot About Living, A Little About Love by Alan Jackson.
Which made me think, and this isn't Christmas related, but it makes me think of like before we branched out from country, because like we grew up on country, and we had the tent set up in the living room, and we'd hang out in the tent and listen to like Black Hawk And
I fucking loved Black Hawk.
Well, yeah. You met them too, right?
No. We're going to do a quick aside here.
Yeah.
So Black Hawk was a country trio that I really fucking loved. That they were performing at the Akron Rib Festival one year, and apparently Mom or Mark or someone had a friend that was working security there, so they set it up so that I would be able to meet Black Hawk.
Only Daniel, not me, even though I was a fan as well.
Not as big a fan as me.
Whatever.
Goodbye says it all.
Shut up.
But I remember to this day it bothers me, even though like. As a 36-year-old, I'm not like, man, if I could meet Black Hawk.
I know, right?
But it still pisses me off because I was so excited as a kid. But I don't know where Mom and Mark were, but the security guard comes up to me and he was like, hey, I'm a friend of your parents. They set it up.
Danger!
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, they set it up so that you can go meet Black Hawk. And my dorky ass was like, gee, mister, I don't know if I should go with you. And,
he didn't have any candy, so you couldn't. You weren't in tights.
And he was like, all right, well, we'll try to track down your parents in time, and wasn't able to. I ended up getting an autographed picture, but I didn't get to meet him.
I remember the autographed picture. Yeah, so that's
yeah.
Man,
wait, what were you saying though? We were in the tent.
In the tents, and yeah.
Before
I discovered The Offspring, and it changed my life forever.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So another Christmas memory I have. I used to read Fear Street by R.L. Stine like religiously. They're only like 150, maybe 200 pages. But we were at Mark's.
I have a quick Fear Street story when you're done.
Okay. Yeah. We were at Mark's mom's, so it would have been Christmas evening. And I was halfway through the book. And Mom looks at me and she's like, you're not supposed to skip through books. And I'm like, I read this much in a day because I had gotten it Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I've read 75 pages. Like, and I still do that and more to this day. Like, I don't know why it sticks with me. And I remember that it was his Halloween Fear Street because I was reading Halloween on Christmas.
I read a lot of Fear Street books, but I can't remember any specific ones outside of, and I don't remember anything about it other than I think the girl was turning into a werewolf maybe, and she was going through a McDonald's drive-thru and ordering a raw Big Mac.
I don't even remember that one.
That's all I remember.
That's hilarious. I remember, so 99 Fear Street was a trilogy, and it was like a haunted house, and I just remember, and I have to go back and read it to see if I'm even remembering it correctly, but I remember there was like blood dripping from the ceiling, and there was like a severed head on the attic floor, and I'm reading, this is like well past my bedtime, probably like 1 a.m. on a school night that because I could not put the book down. But yeah.
So I have an odd memory tied to Fear Street. There was so in 7th grade, how old are you in 7th grade? Like 12?
Sure. Let's just go with it.
All right. It's 1995 again.
There you go.
95 apparently was a big year for me.
Is it just me, or are most of your memories, like, I was 12 years old. I swear to God, I feel like everything I remember is from when I'm 12 years old.
Yeah, but the weird thing is I don't realize that until I do the mental math backward and realize, like, I don't remember being 12 years old.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not just me.
So I was in Mr. Vergey's English class, I think, and he was scolding at this point I was reading a lot of like Dean Koontz and Stephen King books, and he was scolding the class because they would give us assignments like you get to pick a book and do a report on it, and he was scolding the class. He was like, look, guys, you guys are picking Goosebumps books, and R.L. Stine has Fear Street books that you guys should be on.
Nice.
And I was sitting there thinking, like, Fear Street? I'm reading it right now.
Right. See, what's weird, like, with the Stephen King, I have not read a lot of Stephen King. I've seen all the movies. Like, well, except for Dr. Sleep. But, like, I just didn't read. I mean, I think
Stephen King is really good at writing the first 85 to 90% of a book.
Let me tell you,
he sucks at writing endings.
Misery was actually the first book that I read.
I never actually read Misery,
and it was for a class. And I didn't think it could get any more fucked up than that movie. It's so much.
Really?
Oh my God, it's so good. But no, what was the name? John Saul. I was
I
so
forgot about John Saul.
That's what I was reading. Like, I was just...
This was the real schism between me and Melissa. Yeah. I was Team Kuntz. You were Team Saul.
That's true. And I'm just like, and I still haven't read Kuntz.
I remember one Christmas Eve, you bought me at the used bookstore on Copley Road. That's now like a medical recliner company. But you bought me the book Shadow Fires by Dean Koontz, and you wrote something on the inside of the cover, like a Merry Christmas note.
Oh.
And it bothered me because I don't like my books being like...
You know what, though? I can't believe I did that because do you know how long it took me in college to start writing annotations in my books?
Really?
Like, why? Well, I did write my name in books, like, all the time. That didn't bother me, but like it took me so long to start annotating and making notes, and I still don't do it.
Yeah,
much.
I don't. I like to keep my books in,
which is why I have
shape.
multiple volumes of the same book because yeah. And people who dog ear
should be shot.
They need to go to hell.
Shot on sight.
Yeah, just go to the ninth circle of hell.
Or
thank you.
Grab a receipt out of your pocket.
Exactly.
Do you know how many times I've used a receipt as a bookmark?
I've used paper clips. I've used gum wrappers. Anything. You do not dog ear.
No.
And don't bend the spine.
No, you savage.
Dude, oh my God. I rarely let people borrow my books. We're totally getting off topic, but whatever. But I let one of my... Just
a reminder, this is our Christmas episode.
Yeah. Hey, books are... Anyway.
If you have any children in your life, buy them books.
Yes. It doesn't matter. Go ahead. We can go back to Christmas.
No, wait, what were we talking about?
I was just saying I let my colleague borrow a book, and he like took it home, whatever. And then I see him reading one of his own, and he has the spine bent and the cover like back behind.
Oh, no.
I'm like, I swear to God, you better not be treating my books like that.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Anyway, yeah.
All right. Back to Christmas.
Yes, Christmas.
What other Christmas memories you got?
I actually went through and this was when we lived on Kibler. Do you remember...
If it was on Kibler, then probably
No,
not.
Yeah, you don't remember crap. They were called Lost and Founds, and I got the kitten one. And what they were... So, I actually have it here. They were produced by Galoob in 89 to 90. They were a set of plush animals. They cried real tears. You fed them water from a bottle, and then...
And if you didn't, they would actually dehydrate in real time.
It says that they made crying sounds when cuddled. So I remember the commercial. It was like they were lost pets, and that's why they were crying. And
that's horrendous.
Yeah, well, and then I'm thinking, I remember, so I would have been like 7, 8 years old. And I remember, like, I would feed it the bottle. These were plush animals. So when it cried, it would get the freaking fur wet. And I'm like...
That's a poor design choice.
I'm 7 years old, and I'm thinking, who comes up with this shit? Like, this is not... Yeah.
That reminds me of, though, one Christmas, I got a Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels action figure... that you could put water in the back and then you pushed a button and he would sweat.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Then there's also the year that I wanted the robotic dog. Do you remember the robotic dog? Mm-hmm. We were on Milan when I got it. And it did do a flip. But I never played with it. It was so boring. I'm just like, I thought it was going to be amazing. And then I'm just like, well, this sucks. And it just sat there.
Yeah. I remember one year, our dad, instead of buying us gifts, he just took us shopping. And, which seems really cool at the time. Like, I get to pick whatever I want.
Right.
But in hindsight, like, that kind of sucks.
Wasn't it the dollar store?
No.
Why do I remember? Okay, I don't remember.
That might have happened too.
Yeah.
But, I distinctly remember wherever we went, it might have been like Children's Palace or something. Maybe a different toy store. But I got the Steve Urkel.
I remember that
pull the string on the back and he would talk.
Did I do that?
Which is so weird because I don't have any yeah, I liked Family Matters, but I don't have any strong memory of, man, I'm really into Family Matters. But for some reason I decided to get that Urkel doll.
Because it talked, man.
And at one point, and I don't believe this was racially motivated, but in 2019 this would have been very problematic. You hung my Urkel doll from your ceiling fan by the string on his back.
I forgot about that. It was obviously not racially motivated. It was just because I'm an asshole, and I'm weird. Wow, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Your ball just started.
It does that.
Rolling. It's Urkel coming back to haunt me, like bitch. That reminds me, and I wanted to mention this and forgot it, so good. They had the talking Elmo doll. I wanted it so bad, and I got it. So then not only did I get the talking Elmo, but I got the Cookie Monster. I had Big Bird, and then there was another Cookie Monster where you fed it the cookie and he'd go, nom nom nom, me want cookies. Which I had them, and I used to collect stuffed animals, so I got a lot of stuffed animals as gifts, whatnot. Except that as I was getting older, they were just stuffed in my closet. Do you know how hilariously terrifying it is when the batteries started to die? And I mean, it took it a long time, but I would be sifting. I forgot that it was there, and I was sifting through my crap, and I just hear. And you'd hear the grinding because it was slowly moving its arms, and then it would be like, and it was great. So then once that happened, I'd do it on purpose because it was hilarious.
Nice.
Grandma got me one of those American Girl dolls, and it you'd lay it down and its eyes would close, and then you'd sit it up and its eyes would open, and for a hot minute, it really freaked me out because I had a vivid imagination. And at night, I would put her in my closet face down. So, you're not blinking at me, bitch. But yeah.
I imagine you, putting your hands over her eyelids like when a person dies in a movie and they close their eyes out of respect. Yeah.
What else?
I think we ran through the memories that I had.
Well, let's go. Do you want to move into adulthood?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, the best Christmas present that I got was Morbid. That's my cat. Yeah. Matt surprised me. I got to pick 3. There were 3 kittens this woman was holding, and the 2 of them were just freaking out, meowing all over the place, and Morbid was just chilling. And I'm like, you're not a little drama queen attention whore. Let's take you.
Nice.
And there was this old man that was standing at the counter because Matt worked at Speedway at the time. And I always wanted to get a Maltipoo dog and name it Dahmer. Because a Maltipoo, it's a Maltese and Poodle mix. So it's one of the little toys. And name it Dahmer because it's after a serial killer, but it's this adorable little dog. So I have this cat, and I'm like, obviously I want to name her something weird, and Morbid popped in my head, and this old man is standing there, and he looks at me and he's like, you know what that means, don't you? And I'm like, yes, and she's adorable, and she's going to be Morbid. Well, every time for months afterwards, he would come in and ask how Morbid was doing.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
I think the gift as an adult that I got that I was most excited about was when Mom got me the 12-gauge shotgun. Because she actually, just like with you in the starter jacket, she did a really good job of selling, I'm not buying you a fucking gun, Dan.
Nobody will buy me a gun.
Really?
The best that I've done, I mean, I could buy my own.
Yeah.
But the first white elephant.
It's a pricey hobby, though.
True. The first white elephant Christmas with our friends that we did, I got the Red Ryder BB gun, God damn it. And I was like, yes, I finally got a gun. But yeah.
What kind of gun do you want?
I don't know, handgun.
Have you ever been to a shooting range?
I have not.
We should we should take my AR to a shooting range.
We'll do it.
I don't own a handgun yet.
But. I mean, I've shot at Mom's house. I've done small handgun, medium. I don't know what the freaking names are. And then what was the one? There was one really heavy one. I think it was an AR or I don't remember.
Was it a handgun or a rifle?
No, it was a rifle. It was super.
At Mom's?
No, this was at Angel's. One of her neighbors had it.
Oh, I have no idea.
And it was like right after my back surgery, which I should not have been carrying that much weight. And it actually, so I didn't do that well. But yeah, anyway.
Oh, actually, we can't take my AR to the gun range because it got lost in a boating accident.
In a boating?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't need anyone knowing what guns I have.
Okay.
If the government's listening to this, I don't own an AR-15.
Okay.
Are you spying on me for the government?
Maybe.
You're acting real fishy. Are you wearing a wire?
No.
I ask as I'm speaking into a recording device.
What other... Why am I blanking all of a sudden? I do have some... So there was also the doll who... Oh, this was great. I don't know the... I think it was called Dolly Surprise. Yes. It looks like the one I had. So her hair grew. But the way that her hair grew was you would twist her arm around.
The fuck?
All the way. So then her hair ponytail would grow out of her head.
What shit is that?
I love that I owned this shit. I'm like, and people wonder why I'm weird.
Who came up with this shit?
I don't know. But yeah, it was great. That was actually the last one on my...
Dislocate her shoulder and it makes her hair grow.
Yeah, for real. Well, and then of course, I think it was only supposed to go so far, but then me being me, like I twisted it all the way around and it...
Yeah. Of course.
Then there was the endless Barbie dolls, which I would instead...
I don't remember you ever really being into Barbies. Were you into Barbies?
Me and Jesse used to play Barbies with each other. This was like, because, so you would have been, do you remember the hot lava or the floor is lava?
Oh, of course.
Or Run for the Border. That's what it was. Yeah. Run for the Border.
With the floor mats in the kitchen.
Yes.
Holy shit, I forgot about Run for the Border.
Yes. So it was during that time we were playing with Barbies, but the way that, well, not only did I cut my Barbie's hair, but I also like pierced their ears with safety pins, and instead of changing their clothes, I just swapped their heads.
Well, that's just efficiency.
Thank you. I mean, some people might see it as psychotic, but it was literally just efficiency.
I can't fucking believe I forgot about Run for the Border.
Well, explain Run for the Border for your...
All I remember is, okay, so in the kitchen at our grandma's, there were a bunch of different, like, little floor rugs.
Yeah, they were, like, woven...
Yeah.
Something, yeah.
And it wasn't it essentially just tag, but, like, the rugs were the safe zones?
I thought it was more like hot lava, where...
Oh, you had to jump from rug
to rug.
Yes, you're right.
But for whatever reason, we called it Run for the Border. And it was me and you and our cousin Jesse.
Yeah.
And I don't
think kids come up with games like this anymore because they have
video games and
tablets.
This was before
we
had video games and we weren't like rich, so we used our imagination.
This actually reminds me, this has nothing to do with Christmas or anything, but I remember when I was younger, I went over to a friend's house and he had a younger sister and we were playing Darkwing Duck, which was really just, we were playing tag, but we were pretending we were Darkwing Duck. And his younger sister, we were fucking with her because we would just, every time she said, I got you, we set up a rule that if you didn't feel the tag, then it didn't count.
Lame.
So we kept just saying, oh, I didn't feel it. But I distinctly remember one time she tagged me and I said I didn't feel it before she said she tagged me. And I was like, oh shit, the jig is up, but she didn't catch on.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Asshole.
Do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
Yes. Okay. So, well, I think it was a TV special, but I have figured out that if I don't watch 1984's A Christmas Carol or Mickey's A Christmas Carol, it doesn't feel like that's the start of Christmas for me.
Okay.
And what sucks is one year I didn't watch it until the day after Christmas. So like
and it got you all ready for Christmas, but it was over.
I was not in the mood for Christmas at all. I'm like, this is stupid. Like, why am I'm just like, whatever. And then the day after I watched it and then I'm like, want my Christmas back. It sucked. Yeah, so.
So the Mickey's Christmas Carol?
Yes, and I'm halfway through the new Christmas Carol that they just put on Hulu.
Why do they keep making Christmas carols?
Dude, no, this one is good. It is dark and gothic. And
I don't need everything to be edgy.
Dude, like Marley's jaw falls off. No, it's just great.
I never really gave a shit about everything Christmas Carol.
Well, I mean, that's
my favorite Christmas movie, and anybody that listened to this podcast last year knows, is Die Hard.
Well, yeah.
And I am so excited for my yearly viewing of Die Hard.
It is a Christmas movie.
I'm making Kenzie watch it. She's never seen it.
Nice.
And it's going to be awesome. Do you have a favorite Christmas song?
Well, before that, let me just mention
a
Christmas movie that I recently watched. It's from 2017. Is Anna and the Apocalypse. It is and I just told you about it the other day. But for anybody listening, it is a zombie apocalypse Christmas musical.
I didn't know it was a Christmas movie.
Yes, it is. And it is hilarious, and it's great, and it's British. So, yeah, because Americans make shitty movies anymore, for the most part.
Yeah.
Favorite Christmas song?
I don't want a lot for Christmas.
No.
You loved that song when you were a kid.
I did when I was a kid. Well, now what's funny, so I am friends with a very religious woman. Shout out to Leah. And she loves Christmas, obviously, and like I love Halloween. So this year we were having gift wars. I was doing Halloween. She was doing Christmas. Anytime she would post anything Christmas before December 1st, I would post a gif of just Michael from The Office screaming no.
Nice.
And I like that every time. Yeah. So I only found out just this year that she hates that song. Really? And I'm like, you just fueled my fire. So anytime I use it as gifts. Anytime that I see, she was just on James Corden doing that song, so I need to post that to Leah's timeline. Yeah. Here's the thing: anybody that has ever worked in retail since that song came out had that song fucked into their head so much that it's difficult to listen to. It's the 25th anniversary this year, which I only know because I watched James Corden. And 25 years ago, I was 12 when it came out. Yeah. So, yeah, I fucking loved it. Yeah. I was like the OG. I listened to it when it first came out before they played it to death. Yeah. So, yeah, I loved it. I loved that whole album. But My Chemical Romance did a cover of it that was okay. I haven't heard that. I will have to listen to that. But I think... Are you a My Chemical Romance fan? I'm not I'm a fan, but I'm not like a diehard, like, oh my God. I always, we're once again going off into left field here. This is what happens when my sister and I talk. Yeah. I always just lumped My Chemical Romance in with Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco as that kind of shit. Yeah, for sure. Kenzie is she has like a My Chemical Romance tattoo. And so I decided to check them out. They're actually way better than Fall Out Boy or Panic. Like they legitimately, I know this sounds like a girl I like that likes this music, but she also likes Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy, and I fucking hate them. But I was surprised that I like My Chemical Romance. I really like, it's not Black Parade. What the hell? I can't remember the name of the song now. There's one song of theirs that I really love that it's escaping me, and I'm going to look it up because... Black Parade, oh, that's what it was. Black Parade, when I was helping Kenzie move, her and her friend had some playlist going, and Welcome to the Black Parade came on, and I didn't know what it was, and I was like, this song's fucking good. That's funny. So Puddles the Clown, I don't know the name of the band, but they take contemporary music and turn it into like swing style music. Okay. And Puddles the Clown did a cover of a My Chemical Romance song that it's really good. But yeah, bear with me while I look up the name. Oh, you need Jeopardy music. You know what's fun is to sing I'm a Little Teapot to the Jeopardy theme song. Is it? I think it's Famous Last Words. I'm not deep enough to know specific song titles other than Welcome to the Black Parade. Hold on, let me look up the... You should actually introduce this with Mariah Carey, Chris. Yeah, it's Famous Last Words is my favorite My Chemical Romance song. So listen to it.
Okay. Do you know what album it's on?
I was just there. But to answer your question while I look this up about my favorite Christmas song, it's on the Black Parade.
Okay. I actually like every song on that album.
Okay.
Well, now I need to refresh my memory as to what song that is. But go ahead and say what you.
So, I feel like I need to preface this by saying, I'm agnostic. I don't disbelieve or believe anything specific. However, my favorite Christmas song is takes me back to my choir days in high school, and it's Do You Hear What I Hear? Because
do you hear what I hear?
I love the dynamics of the verses in that song. But then there's also Wham's
Last Christmas?
Yeah, one year I did a top 10 Christmas songs. But then of course there's also the South Park Christmas album.
See, I was about to come in with Swiss Colony Beef.
See, but Mr. Hanky is I love Mr. Hanky. Yeah. He is a talking piece of shit. Which is we all know a talking piece of shit.
All right, hold on real quick while I refresh my memory as to what Famous Last Words is.
Say, but where's your heart? Where's your heart? Where's your
fart?
Jesus.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yes, very good one.
That was your Christmas My Chemical Romance break.
Yeah. With my horrible singing, you're welcome. Merry Christmas.
There's actually a lot of Christmas songs that I like, and I'm blanking on what my favorite would be.
There's also, of course, Grinch. I love the Grinch.
I never gave any kind of a shit about the Grinch.
See, it's just I love him.
Okay.
He's, even though his heart grew up
you
until
that point.
Up until that
You're
point.
You're a Grinch hipster.
I really am.
All right, hold on. I should have Googled Christmas songs. I didn't know that I was going to be asking that question.
I'm actually curious, and I kind of want to look up if I can find. And I would say you can just edit out the silence, but I've found that Daniel doesn't edit out silence.
Nope.
So could be why he doesn't have that many followers.
Okay. Oh. So one of many reasons. So I'm looking at a list of best Christmas songs, and the first one on the list is White Christmas, and my dumbass brain started singing White Christmas, I gave you my heart.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I actually really like Oh Holy Night. And I'm also don't give a shit about the Christianity part of whatever. But just it feels powerful. I also really like when Cartman sings it.
Oh, then there's also, of course, Christmas Wrapping by the Waitresses.
I don't know that song.
Yes, you do. Especially if you worked in retail.
Well, when did it come out?
80s.
Oh.
Oh, no, I hit the wrong button. God damn it.
You dumb bastard.
I really am. No, not this song. Go back. Technical difficulties. I know the guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
The guitar player, the guy who wrote this is the one who owns Jeffrey Dahmer's house.
Oh, really?
Yes, he was in this band.
Okay.
They're the ones that also do I Know What Boys Like.
Wait, no. That was...
The Waitresses.
Are you sure?
Yes. Am I sure?
Why? It's so weird when my brain has a pop culture blind spot like this. If you would have asked me 5 minutes ago if there was a band called The Waitresses, I would have been like, I've never heard of them.
Yeah, they're from Akron.
Really? Did someone cover I Know What Boys Like?
Maybe.
I Know What Boys Like is a song written by guitarist Chris Butler in 1978 when he was a member of the rock band Tin Huey.
Chris Butler's, the one.
Is this the guy we're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm changing my now. This was my number 3 favorite song in 2016 when I did my countdown. However, I love this man's voice.
Michael Bublé?
It gives me chills, and this song gives me feels. It's from a movie, which was one of my favorite books, child books, when I was younger.
Is this Josh Groban?
Josh Groban.
I didn't know you had it for Josh Groban like that.
Dude.
What song is it?
He could sing the worst. It's Believe from the Polar Express.
Believe in
Okay,
love
not Cher Believe. No. But from the Polar Express movie, which that was one of my favorite child books. Okay. I loved that book. And yeah, Josh Groban.
I had no idea that you gave any kind of a shit about Josh Groban.
That man's voice.
All right.
I won't get weird.
Well, before you do, we're going to go ahead and cut it off.
Yeah.
Any last Christmas tidings that you'd like to?
There was something, and now it's totally gone. Damn it. Oh, no, not Christmas. I'm going to actually give some shout out to Hanukkah, which we are on the second day of Hanukkah right now.
Okay. Little known fact, Hanukkah is not actually Jewish Christmas. It's not that big of a deal.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's not. But the reason that I bring it up is because when I was in my master's program, one of the professors invited us all over for one of her, I don't remember which night it was, but to celebrate with her and her daughter. And like they sang us a song that they do on Hanukkah. And like
Nagila Hava.
I don't think it was that one, but they
was
lit
it dreidel,
the menorah.
Dreidel?
No, Jesus.
No,
she made us.
Jesus.
She made us. Is it latkes? The potato.
Yeah.
Yeah, she made sweet potato ones. Oh my God, so good.
Is that kosher?
Yeah, it was all kosher.
All right.
She's Jewish.
You almost said she's a Jew, and then you're like, that sounds a bit harsh. I'm going to change it.
No,
we all heard it. You're like, she's Jewish.
Anyway, they lit the menorah, and it was just really cool because, like, I like experiencing as much as I can from different beliefs, different cultures, whatever. So like it was just a super awesome night for us to be a part of that, and plus like the latkes.
It was a Jubilee.
And we did Jesus Christ.
No, they don't believe in Jesus Christ.
Shut up. What was the other? We did raclette. Have you ever had raclette? Okay, so I actually first had this with my French friends, Danielle and Patrice in Cleveland. But so raclette is a type of cheese, but then it's also something that you do with cheese. So, and I have
what?
No. I don't know. I can't think of the word. I even took my ADD pill today. My brain is fucking with me. But anyway, yeah, so I actually have an electric raclette machine. You melt the cheese, and then you put it over like boiled potatoes or boiled vegetables or whatever. But it's like super delicious, and it's like this whole process, and it's so very filling. But
what's the process? Is it just melting cheese?
Yeah, it's like sitting around. It's like a communal thing where you sit around and you
like fondue.
Way better. Because it's the way that you melt the cheese, it's like in little pans, so it gets it like bubbly and almost because like burnt cheese is the best fucking cheese.
Yeah.
So it gets it to the brink of that. I mean, I've never let it burn, but where fondue is just like dipping shit in melted cheese, and it's like this. You put the cheese on top. no one can see my little hand motions. Like, you're really missing out on my... Yeah, but...
All right.
Yeah, so that was another thing that we did that night. But it was just a really neat experience. So, like, if anybody's listening and wants to...
I'm going to be cutting all this off. This is our Christmas episode. This is not our Hanukkah episode. I'm kidding.
First off, you don't cut anything out, so I know that you're lying. But, yeah, so Merry Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas Eve. Thank you for coming on the show. And everybody out there, I hope you have a happy holiday.
And watch Return to Oz, people.
And watch Return to Oz. Eat some raclette.
And latkes.
And latkes. Be nice to the Jews in your life. And the Gentiles. God bless us, everyone.
And the pagans. Happy Yule.
No, fuck the pagans. Fucking hippies dancing around in the woods listening to Stevie Nicks.
Okay, those are the Wiccans, not the pagans.
Tomato.
No.
All right, we'll see you next year on the Pop Culture Special.